Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And today we're talking about 5 things you may or may not have known about Guns N' Roses' performance at the 2002 Video Music Awards on MTV. So number 1 thing you may or may not have known is that Guns N' Roses didn't really know what they were going to play on the VMAs until the actual day of the show, as Axl told a radio DJ back in a 2002 interview. Here's the clip.
Welcome back to the world of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Seems like you've been gone for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
It was definitely a shocker to see you there on the MTV Video Music Awards. How long did it take to get that whole thing rolling?
The MTV?
Yeah.
Well, they were in negotiations about trying to figure out how long we could do something and where it would be at in the show for actually somewhere near the beginning of that little mini tour we did. And then we didn't have what we were doing on stage worked out until the day of the show.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
So that whole Guns N' Roses medley, you guys, is that what you didn't have worked out, or just the whole?
Yeah, that thing. It's like because it wasn't for sure that we were playing until the day before the show.
Number 2, Axl Rose almost didn't even get into the actual Video Music Awards because there were some issues with security and people not having his name on the list. Here's the same interview where he talks about
just been a nervous wreck all that day, huh?
Well, no, I wasn't that, but everything tends to go wrong in my world. Like even going to sound check, the police wouldn't let me down the street to go to the building.
Is that right?
And then the day of the show, they didn't let us go down the street, and I had to get out of the car, run past the police. They're telling me I have to stop, and I'm like, I gotta sing. And the best part was, as I'm running down the street, I had to run past all the people lined up to get in the building.
Right.
And they're going, "Hey, there goes Kid Rock!" I thought that was pretty
Now,
cool.
why wouldn't the police let you out? I'm kind of lost on that.
Just they're lost.
Huh.
Just confusion, lost, don't know what's going on, people not having people's names on the list, not knowing what passes to check, all that kind of crap. So just usual stuff going wrong for no reason.
So what you're telling me is Axl Rose had to sneak into the MTV Video Music Awards.
Yeah, basically. I had police chasing me down the street, and then our security and MTV had to clear it with them. But it was very interesting.
Number 3, there's actual rehearsal footage of Guns N' Roses at the VMAs. I've linked to it down below, and there's a little snippet from an interview that was done about the 2002 VMAs, which you guys will see here.
Very end of the night.
Guns N' Roses were the biggest rock band of the late 80s, and Axl Rose was the biggest rock star in the world. Around 1993, Axl kind of goes into hype each year. It's just the mystery would just grow. So inevitably, every year, we got to get Guns N' Roses.
Every single year since they've been off the road, we've said, what about Guns N' Roses?
We get past that and we move on. It happens every year. Somehow in 2002, I had started seeing rumblings on the internet about Guns N' Roses playing a show, then it got canceled, but they did one. So there was something in the air. About August, the head of the network gets a message from Guns management saying, "We're coming."
So you're like, oh my God, of course we're going to make a slot for Guns N' Roses.
But the whole time, we dealt with him for a long time. Until he's on that stage, live in front of everybody, we're not going to believe it.
The risk is it leaking and the viewer's thinking he's actually going to be there and then he doesn't show up. So in this particular case, we had to really keep this quiet.
We didn't tell anybody they were playing on the show.
We call things Project X or Y or Z or, we'll label it an animal.
On all the schedules and everything, they called them the Frogs or something like that. They're like, oh yeah, it's some Swedish band, don't worry about it.
Nobody knew what was going on. I think literally 5, 6 people at best.
We decided he's going to rehearse the last slot, close off Radio City, get everybody out.
Nobody was allowed in.
And we were like, what could be such a big deal that no one can get in? People were asking me, can you get in there? You're on air. And I was like, I tried. It doesn't work. First thing that happens is the Guns N' Roses equipment starts loud. You see veteran producer people, we're like, it's really here. And you start seeing the band. And we're hearing them play the opening notes to Jungle. And then we realized, wait a minute, nothing's happening. Axl's not here yet. Let's not get too excited.
And then there's that moment where, Axl walks in the room. You just know it.
The entire time, it's silent. Nobody wants to spook him, scare him. They run through it one more time. It ends. He walks out. We're all looking at each other like, I can't believe that really happened. Let's see if it happens tomorrow.
Number 4, Patton Oswalt, the stand-up comedian, actually did a whole bit on Axl Rose's performance at the 2002 VMAs. I've linked to his stand-up show down below in the description box. And even if you go read some of the comments on YouTube of the Guns N' Roses performance at the VMAs, you'll see some comments referencing Patton Oswalt and how they are watching the video because Patton Oswalt brought up the performance. Now, Patton Oswalt wasn't the only one who poked fun at Axl's performance at the VMAs. We also had Saturday Night Live who poked fun at it. So Matt Damon was the guest host on SNL back in 2002, and there was a skit about Donna Versace's Hot Pockets. So one of the celebrity testimonials was Axl Rose, played by Matt Damon. He was wearing the Rice Oakland jersey, the bandana, and red sunglasses, and he's saying, "Do you know where you are? You're in my microwave." Then he ran around the set. Damon stopped and leaned on the microwave as though he was out of breath. Just to confirm or drive his point home, Damon then said something along the lines of, "I won't eat other crap, these pockets are rock," but acting as though he's out of breath. And in case you guys didn't know, it appears that Donna Versace and Axl Rose are friends, as they've been photographed numerous times over the years, even dating back to 1993 all the way as recently as 2006. Number 5, both Duff and Slash were out promoting their first album for Velvet Revolver, Contraband, when they were asked about Axl's performance at the 2002 VMAs. Now, this interview was in 2004, and Duff claims he didn't see the performance until almost a year after it happened, and Slash claimed he never saw Guns N' Roses perform at the VMAs. Here's what they had to say during the interview.
Commitment. What is it, Gary?
Hey, I got a question for the guys from Guns N' Roses. When you guys saw Axl on the MTV Awards a couple years ago with that band and that bucket head thing, were you guys like embarrassed for it?
I didn't see it.
You've never seen it?
I refuse to see it.
Like a year later.
Why do you refuse to see it?
I was going to school at the time, so and having kids, and I just didn't see it.
What kind of school?
Going to school?
Yeah, I went to a nice Jesuit school.
Jesuit?
Yeah.
What, high school?
No, yeah, right?
What kind of school? What were you studying?
Thanks, Robin.
What were you trying to learn?
Finance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You were going to be a businessman?
I'd like to go over my portfolio with Duff. So I saw it a year later.
Slash, why do you refuse to see it?
It was one of those things where I got a bunch of phone calls one morning and leaving me messages going, what was that whole thing about on TV? And I didn't know what anybody was, what it was.
Yeah, what is that,
and so I called.
Why couldn't he be with you guys? I don't understand.
I'd been gone for a while. Duff had been gone for a while. Matt had been gone for a while. It was over with. When it finally ended, it was like, no turning back kind of thing. And so when I heard what it was the MTV Awards, and I heard the reaction from the people that saw it, I didn't want to see something. I didn't want to leave, have that memory of whatever Guns N' Roses was. When I left, it was still sort of cool.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think it's over for that.
So that does it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts down below. What were your impressions when you saw Guns N' Roses at the 2002 VMAs? Comment in the section below, and be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also share the video with other Guns N' Roses fans, and be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and support my channel on Patreon if you want to see more videos just like this. Take care.